Hi guys, this is Michelle. This recording will take the place of meeting tonight, so make sure that you watch it to make sure that you have an understanding of what the expectations are for the next two modules in the next 2 weeks. If you have questions, feel free to contact me. My phone number is 262-309-3842. You can call or text me. And then my personal email is nextlevelct@gmail.com, and that's NEXTLEVEL, C as in cat, T as in Tom, at gmail.com. So if you have any questions about the past assignments or coming up assignments. So week 5 is starting, or actually already started, but we're going to be talking about assumptions, and that's what the assignments are, and that's what the discussion is about as well. So the first one is our discussion. And in this discussion, it says our assumptions about people affect our ability to motivate them to their highest level of performance. Complete exercise 5 in your textbook, that's on page 40, and tell how your assumptions are related to your expectations of those you work with. In your answer, indicate which type of answer you had the most. And then also we have it down here. It says, how are your assumptions related to your expectations of others at work? So that is the discussion for this week, and that's regarding assumptions. Then next we go here with this one. It says to write a one-page overview of chapter 2. Your review must be one full page, double spaced with 10 to 12 point font. Then one of the things that I need you to remember for this particular assignment, not just writing a one full page, but you also need to complete exercise 2 on page 29 and answer the question on page 30 about completing a vision statement. So don't forget about this second part of this assignment. Then this is the assignment, the main assignment, talking about assumptions. In this one, we will go through Tom's case. And Tom's case, it's a case study that is there for us, for you to read. But before you do that, you need to watch this video. And the video is about the ladder of inference and how that ladder of inference creates bad judgment. So here it says, after reading the papers below and watching this video about the ladder of inference, complete the assignment regarding Tom's case. For this assignment, you will write your reflections on a conflict situation you experienced. Describe an interaction between you and someone in your organization, or it could be a previous organization. It could be a parent, board member, staff member, etc., with whom you experienced conflict. You need to describe the setting, the conflict, and your hopes as the interaction began. Then record the dialogue as you remember it, labeling what people said as you would in a play. Include your thoughts and feelings about what was said and what happened. Then reflect on any assumptions you made that might have influenced your behavior. We're going to go a little bit more into this. I'll go to next. Now here on this page, you will find the actual case study. You can download it, or you can actually read it right from here. It is 13 pages long. And so make sure you take the time to go through this. And just trying to see. Oh, I think I ended up going back to the top or something. Let's see. Anyways, okay, there we go. That's page 13. And so anyways, let's see. That is the case study. And then this is the actual worksheet that you will do your work on. And here you can, when you download this, you should be able to type directly into it. And so you can put your name and the date in here. But it says Tom's case is based on the idea that the behavior of leaders is largely formed by the assumptions they make about themselves and other people. Assumptions of which they are frequently unaware. These assumptions can be discovered not by asking these leaders what they believe, but by asking them to examine what they actually do and say. Frequently, they then discover that their assumptions in practice are at odds with what they believe and value. This gap between people's beliefs and their actions are recognized in sayings like practice what you preach, or do as I say, not as I do, and to see ourselves as others see us. One way to discover one's assumptions is to examine one's statements and actions in terms of the feelings and thoughts which accompany the actions. We see Tom do that in Tom's case. So it says you are asked to do that as well by organizing your case in the following way. And it says that the hope behind the exercise is that by encountering discrepancies between one's thoughts and feelings on the right-hand side of the page and one's statements on the left, one can puzzle out assumptions which would explain why one's thoughts, feelings, and statements were not congruent. In recognizing one's assumptions, one can consciously choose to retain, modify, or expand them depending on their appropriateness as ways to make sense of the world. This is a leadership skill which administrators can demonstrate by example. Now, when you look in here, it says in the space below, that means there's a little space here, and like I said, it will expand as you type. Describe the setting, the conflict, and your hopes as the interaction began. Then, using the table below, in the first column, record the actors taking part in your dialogue. Now, you have to be one of the actors. And so, in the second column, look in here at sample dialogue. You got Angie and Becky. So maybe you're Angie, and then the one you're going to talk to is Becky. And so you would put yourself, then whoever you're talking to. If it's more than one person, feel free to put them all in there. In the second column, record the dialogue as you remember it. And then on the right-hand side, record your thoughts and feelings as they occurred relative to what was happening or being said. So we have the actors, what was being said. And so this is a great example. It says, Susan, you're doing a great job in the classroom with following through with the completion of child assessments. So, but the thoughts and feelings when going into this conversation was, I have to open this up with something positive. And then Becky, she just says, thank you. You can't put down what she was thinking or feeling because you don't know what she was thinking or feeling. Then Angie, sure, I'm happy to see deadlines being met. I'm a little concerned about some of the child outcomes I'm seeing, however. And this is the thoughts that she had beforehand. Okay, choose your words carefully. And then Becky, really, how so? So you can start typing it in here. And like it says you may add additional rows as needed by clicking on the last row and selecting insert. Or actually, if you just keep typing, it'll keep adding more space. So you already have a nice amount of space. And I'm assuming that there goes the assumption, that you'll use more space than just that. Now, one thing I don't want you to forget is this part. It says below, speculate as to what assumptions you think might have governed your behavior in this situation that you're talking about up here. And so start typing in there and it will expand. So another thing I want you to be aware of when completing this assignment is, this is something else to read. Now this is 9 pages. So I'm saying all that to say that make sure that you start this ahead of time, because that's 22 pages of reading and information that you will read to help you complete Tom's case study. So the next one, we're going into module 6, or the next module, or the next week. Now with this one, we're talking about responsibilities. It says many factors influence the quality of early childhood education. As an administrator, it is your responsibility to maintain the level of quality in your program. In your opinion, what is the strongest predictor of quality in an early childhood administrator and why? So this is your opinion. And that was for that discussion. So this week, as you read chapter 3 in the textbook, it says write a 1-page overview of chapter 3. Your review must be 1 full page, double spaced with 10 to 12 point font. And don't just write an overview, but also write in there, how does it apply to your practice? How does it apply to your program, or how does it apply to your practice? Then the next part is policy development. In here, you're going to read this about 5 tips for creating your daycare policies. And you then will create your own daycare policy. Now, This young lady here, she's actually talking about for family child care, but I think what she talks about is really, I think it's really good. And so it says, for this assignment, you will revise or create a staff or operational policy and procedure, or operational policy or procedure to reflect improved practices. If you are revising a current policy, include a copy of the current policy as well as the revisions. Your new policy should be at least 2 pages double spaced using size 12 font. Now, so with this, it says watch the video and read the exchange article before working on this assignment. Use a minimum of 3 resources to create your new or improved policy. Now, your resources can be your director or a Youngstar person, but they will not count as your 3. You can consult with them, but I need you to get 3 outside. 3 out. Excuse me. 3 outside resources. So, if I knew how to stop this recording, I would stop it. So you have to excuse me for coughing. So watch the video and read the exchange article before working on this assignment. You can find the exchange article here, and in that exchange article, they talk about 11 different components of creating a policy. So that is vital that you look at that. So you have to identify policy revisions that you make if you're recreating or revising a policy. But if you're starting from fresh, all you have to do is make sure you fully address all 11 components. And then don't forget 3 credible references cited. And don't forget those, you can consult other people, but they cannot be one of your references. And so you have access to that exchange article there, but you also have access here. Here's that actual exchange article also. So when you look at this, as you scroll down, you see an example of a policy and how to write it up. So there's 1 all the way through 11. So that's that for this 2 modules. So like I said before, feel free to contact me, and that's all you'll have to complete for week 5 and week 6. Have a great 2 weeks, and don't forget, feel free to contact me if you need to.